Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. I have these gray curtains that you see here made by our neighborhood curtain maker. I chose these fabrics myself. The frontmost layer is a gray chiffon, the middle layer is a shiny, lighter gray fabric called blackout, but this is not the kind of blackout fabric that I am used to because it does not have that rubberized coating on the back and it does not block out light completely. So there is a third layer underneath it called Gena and it's a darker gray. I will list all of my suppliers down below. The curtain was okay, it fulfills the purpose, but it looked pretty boring, so I decided to spruce it up. I went back to the textile store and looked for a chiffon, and I found some that matched my color scheme of yellow and gray. I got the same gray chiffon that was used in the curtain you saw earlier, plus a lighter gray chiffon and this lemon yellow chiffon. Then I figured out a pattern. Stripes would be the best pattern for me because stripes are easy to execute. The width of each curtain panel is 58 inches and the height is 96 inches, but I didn't bother too much with the height measurement. I decided on a pattern of light gray, yellow, light gray, and dark gray in that order, repeated across each panel for a total of 15 strips for each panel. I simply divided 58 inches by 15 and got 3.8 inches. That would be the final width of each strip as they are to be sewn onto the curtain. The next step was to actually create the strips. Chiffon is a very sheer, very light fabric that is quite easy to cut. I simply measured 10 inches, made a small cut into the chiffon with a pair of scissors, and then gave it a good rip. The fabric tore in one perfectly straight line. I did not need the edges to be perfectly polished, and I will show you later why. Each strip measured 10 inches wide, as I mentioned, and 99 inches long. The curtains are 96 inches long, but I needed an extra 3 inches that will extend over the rod pocket part of the curtain to make it look nicer. I will show you that later. Using the layout that I showed you earlier, I cut 6 strips of the dark gray, 16 strips of the light gray, and 8 strips of the lemon yellow to create a total of 30 strips. And then it was time to hem each strip of chiffon fabric. I used a candle and simply ran the edges of the fabric across the flame lightly and very quickly to melt the edges of the fabric and actually burn it just a teeny tiny bit. This step sealed all the edges of the chiffon strips and they would never fray. I learned this technique as a girl from my mother's seamstress. Her name was Nati. She was even mentioned in one of my short stories. I will leave a link down below for you in case you are interested to read that short story. After all of the edges of all of the 30 strips have been sealed, I then proceeded to the next step, which is sewing the strips onto the curtain panels. I took a strip, stitched a basic running stitch across the top of it like so. Remember, the strips are about 10 inches wide, and according to our layout, the space for each strip must be about 3.8 inches only, so I marked the 3.8 inches onto the curtain panel and then anchored the strip onto it. This gave me enough fabric to gather into a basic shirring, and then when I was satisfied with how the shirring looked, I stitched over the shirring to keep it from moving around, and then I made a knot at the back and then cut off the excess thread, and then continued to do the same thing to the other strips, making sure that I follow the order of the colors according to the layout that I have decided on. And as you can see, that extra fabric over there will go over the top of the curtain like I mentioned. The end result is really nice. I really like it. This took a total of 16 hours spread across 3 days. The most time-consuming step was the sealing of the edges using the flame from a candle because I had to be very careful. But the effect is totally worth it. As you can see, the burned edges gave the entire finished curtain a special textured look. I honestly did not plan on doing this 3-color overlay. I thought I was okay with the 3 layers of gray fabric that I initially chose and gave to the curtain maker, but this window is what my desk is facing. I will be seeing it a lot, and knowing myself, I would want something interesting to look at during times when I have to keep the curtains closed because I need to stay out of the sun because of a migraine headache or something. But of course, the view from this window is so beautiful, so I am also planning to put tie backs so that I can tie the curtains back when I want to. I will show the full view from this window when I make the video of my room tour. So technically these curtains now have 4 layers of fabric. The strips of chiffon, followed by the plain gray chiffon, followed by the shiny blackout fabric, and finally the Gena fabric at the very back. All in all, it is very effective in blocking out sunlight, but also looks quite pretty, and the colors fall in very nicely with the color scheme of my bedroom. That is my standing desk that you can see over there with a built-in cable management at the back of it. I had this custom made and I will talk about this table in detail in another video. So this curtain overlay has been my little project over the 4-day weekend, and it has been fun. I did not have enough tools, but I was able to make do with what I have because my design was very forgiving. Nothing was required to be perfect, not even the measuring. So if you are thinking of a window treatment or a little project for you to do, I hope you were able to get some ideas from this video. Please don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye!